Hello everyone, I'm Carolyn from Tranquil Mentor and welcome to our channel. Today we're going to be making this Happy Fall Y'all outdoor sign. We'll be using items from Dollar Tree, laser cut maplewood, and scrapbook paper. We will also be making this Gather Together outdoor sign using some of the same crafting supplies. We change these signs out on our back patio seasonally, and we have also been making some for the holidays. We'll be using this masonite or hardboard as they call it for the back of the signs, and we'll also be using our Diode laser cutter to cut everything out. And here we've got some scrapbook paper from Michaels, and it's 12 by 12 and they do have a piece on the end here, so we're going to need to cut that off, and I'm just going to cut it in my paper cutter and get everything lined up. But this will be 12 by 12 and our backing is 12.5 by 12.5 inches. So the masonite will hang over a little bit. And then we're going to seal everything up with Mod Podge and glue everything together. This is the matte. There's also glossy available too if you like that. But I have my brush from Dollar Tree, which I love to use for putting on the Mod Podge. It's just thick enough and it's real easy to clean the glue out of it. So we're going to get a nice coat on here, and I'm going to generously apply this coat so that we have a lot of leeway when we go to put our paper on. And then we'll finish this up. We're going to just put it all on nice and thick, get a little bit on the edges too so we can get them sealed up. And then that looks good there. So here's our paper, and we're just going to gently lay it down, and we do have a lot of leeway. We've got a lot of play here, so we can get it a little bit more even, and you're really not going to see that, but I just wanted to get it straightened out. And then you can pull it up a little bit if you need to, and then this scraper is a good idea to use to get the bubbles out and to get it sealed back down so that you're not using your hand and get stuck to the paper and everything. So we could pull those bubbles out, and we have the paper actually sliding a little bit over, and you can get some of the glue off of there. You should probably wipe it off, not with your hand, but anyway, so I'm got those glued on. They dried. I let them dry overnight, but you don't have to. And then what we're doing is we're going straight up and down here, and we're going to go in this direction first in a, let's see, it's vertical. We're going to go in a vertical position first, and then we're sealing in those edges also. So we're going to get that coat in. We're going to coat the second picture or the second sign, and then we are going to go on both of them horizontally, going in the other direction. So we'll start still concentrating on sealing up those edges because these signs are going to be outside, so we do want to seal them up as much as possible. And the masonite or hardboard's not always the best thing for outdoors, but you can, if you seal it really well, and it's going to be under our patio, so it does stay very well, and as long as it's coated properly, it does get some wet and everything, but I'm going to seal it up really well. And then I'm going to do the two horizontals and then verticals on both so that I have like 3 layers. And then here we are in light burn, and this is how I'm going to make the frame. I'm going to lay out these pieces here. It's just a rectangle. They're 1.5 inches wide, and these are going to be 9.5. They're going to go on the inside of the frame, and then I need 4 of those because I'm going to be making 2 frames. So we'll line those up, and then we'll gather those together here, and I'm going to choose them. I'm going to select them, and I'm going to turn them. I'm going to rotate them, and then I'm going to align the top just to get them together. They really don't have to be aligned or anything like that. And I'm not going to align them vertically. I'm just going to select them right now at this point and get them moved over. I don't know why. Oh, okay. I think I was going to align them again, but I think I'm just moving them. All right. And then there we go. We've got them all set and moved over out of the way. And then our next item that we have to make here, our next part of the frame, is going to be 12.5 by 12.5 by 1.5. And these are going to be the longer pieces on the frame. And I'm going to copy this one, and we're going to duplicate or copy or duplicate. And then now that I have two, I'm going to go and I'm going to, I think I started to align the top. I think so. Okay, so now what we'll do is we're going to select these two, and we're going to copy them. I keep saying duplicate, but copy and duplicate, you can do either one. And then now we have 4. So those will be for our longer part of the frame, and then the other ones will be the shorter part of the frame. And then we're just going to save those. And then we're going to take our diode laser and cut these pieces out. And if you don't have a laser, you can use paint sticks and cut them up on a little miter saw, and they will work out perfectly. You can get thicker ones sometimes, longer ones from a hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's, something like that. And then you can just paint them up, and you can stain them or do whatever you want. Now I'm attempting to make my own stain because I didn't have what I wanted. So I put the khaki and the brown together, and I didn't really like that. So I found some brown from Dollar Tree that I had in my storage there. And then I'm going to mix that up in my little jar. I have a lot of water in it. And I made a lot because I wanted to, once I got the color, I wanted to store it away. So I'm going to take my brush, and I know I'm off screen a little bit here, but you'll see for the next one. And I'm just holding on to it. I've got some parchment paper. And this is a pretty easy cleanup. The stain sometimes smells for a while, but it does. Stain is very nice to use, and you can use the Waverly stain too. I believe they have a stain that you can put on also. I'm trying to think of what they actually call it, but I'm going to go through these and I'll paint them all up, and then they'll dry. They will dry lighter than what you see here. I do really like this color, so I'm going to hold on to it. And I'm going to keep it in that jar, just put a lid on it. And there's my clear spray from Dollar General. And I Mod Podged the back of those the masonite there, hardboard. Then I sprayed it, and I sprayed these with that clear spray. And now we have our Dollar Tree items. They are called wall decor, and they are a pumpkin and a maple leaf. I'm not going to be using the tassel on here or the beads on the top, so I have to find a way to get these off. I figured that they were going to be pretty easy, but I'm going to reuse these tassels in another project. I know they will definitely come in handy for making some garland or something, some beaded garland or something. So we'll get started by trying to, even ripping the paper off and trying to be patient. Patience is a virtue. And what we're doing here, I'm going to try, I'm trying with a flathead screwdriver, a narrow one, and I'm not getting too far. So, and I go back, I try to rip it again, and I'm going to get out some other tools. I'm going to try this, and this is just part of my process of trying to get these out. These staples were really in here. I was really surprised. Usually you could pull stuff right out with Dollar Tree, but they were in there. I was able, with the needle nose pliers, I was able to get under and use the flathead screwdriver to get the staples out. Sometimes getting these pieces together for you know, for your craft or your DIY is a big part of, or the hardest part of the project. So here we are with another way. I just am using everything that I have, my nippers. Okay, so we have our tassel off, and it is a very beautiful one. And there are 2 other beads that I took off of there, and I'll just put them back on. And then now, to get this, the needle nose pliers come in handy for this part, and I did split them with the nippers, so now I'm taking the needle nose pliers to try to get the rest of the staple out. And I do get them removed, and they're gone. perfect. Finally got them out. Patience. And then I have my sanding block from Dollar Tree. They call it a sponge sander, and I'm just gonna sand those. And then I've got my trusty Gorilla Glue, clear glue. I love this stuff. I never used to understand what the hype was, and now that I have some, it's amazing. It's almost like rubber cement, but better. It's just perfect. It just dries much more solid, but you do have a lot of leeway with it also. You can move it around a little bit before it dries, but then when it dries, it's on there. And then I'm going to take that and just get it flush with the bottom. And this part's not bad at all because you already have the edge of the masonite, or I should keep calling it hardboard, but I call it masonite. That's a brand name, but I can't help but call it that. But anyway, I get the masonite pretty cheap from Home Depot, and it does have a waffled backing, but it's okay. I just use it and you don't see it. So then I'm taking my smaller pieces here, and because I do the longer ones first because it gives me a little bit of a guideline, and now I know that I can go in here and put these on, and I don't have to, I can move around, I can push them flush, and then I still have some flexibility here where I can move the top and the bottom frame together. And then here we go, we've got it all glued together. And then I have a heavy weighted box that I'm going to put over it so that it dries. It's from our workshop. It has, nuts and bolts and all in it, and it's pretty heavy, but not like a weight that would dent it. And I'm going to put that over all of them, and I'll let that dry. And I do have some sanding to do on the edges. You'll see some of the glue was pushing out, and I'll sand those later. And then here is our maple leaf. I'm gonna get that Gorilla Glue out again. I have been buying so much of this lately because I use it for everything. Use it for all my laser projects, my craft projects. I can't say enough about it. So I've got a bunch of glue dots on there, and I'm going to get that centered in here as best I can. And I do have some time. It's not like CA glue where it's going to dry and you're stuck. This way you can center, you can take a look at it. See, with this irregular shape, it's very difficult to see if it's centered. I kept saying I took it off camera right now just because I'm looking at it, but as you keep looking at it, it keeps looking either too centered, too high, too low. I don't know. I drive myself crazy. But I'm going to call it that. And I'm just going to put my box over and let that dry. Just a little bit of weight on it. And then I have an acorn, and I've got some raffia from Dollar Tree. And then here's some Dollar Tree ribbon. I bought this a long time ago. It's Greenbrier. I haven't been able to find it again. It's just beautiful. It's sheer, sparkly, and I love it. And it's just not around, so I'm going to keep my eye out for it. I'm going to make a bow here. I thought this raffia needed a little something. It needed some color. I'm just folding it over. I get the size that I want. It's got a little bit of wire in it too. Very, very light wire. And I'm going to pinch it in the middle and just get my little tails down. And then I'll take this raffia piece, this extra piece that's just laying around. And Dollar Tree does have this raffia. You just have to keep a lookout for it. It's usually over by the floral section. It's not with the other craft stuff. It's usually down at the end. I know all aisles are different, but that's typically where I find it, in the floral area. And then I'm tying this knot, just a regular overhand knot, so I can get it in, and then I'll tie the overhand knot again and just get it very secure. But I like the way that that looks. That's going to be pretty. And I try here I try blending that raffia in, and it looks okay, but I think I end up cutting it off later. I don't remember if I did it or not. But anyway, it came out really pretty. I like the way that that looks. And I'll be trimming those tails up later. And I'm going to glue the acorn on. And that one looks good. We'll put the other one on. And this is the way they turned out. I think they look fantastic. They're going to really give that color. I'm going to trim this up a little bit. And I'll trim it more so when I put them outside on the back patio. Because we're going to be screwing them on the stucco, we can't put them on right away. Now, here is our text. Happy fall, y'all, and gathered together. We're in here in Lightburn. I went ahead and made my letters, and this panel right over here is my power and my speed. I double click on that and I can adjust my power and speed. Now 240 and 100 works good for me. It's just how my laser works best with that particular wood. So I'm going to go with that. And of course, everybody's laser is different. We don't know what's best for yours. You always have to test your wood and see how it's going to cut. This font is Sparkle. I've selected that. And then now what you can do is you can zoom in and you just look. Now the y'all, apostrophe in the y'all is going to come out separate. I tried connecting it and it didn't look right. Now there's a couple letters like F and Y that are going to be separate, but because it's script, the T also, because this is script, the together word is going to be mostly together, and I just have to line them up later. And then here is a Dollar Tree round that was the perfect size and the perfect wood. So I grabbed that. I grab a bunch of them usually. They are not perfect by any means, but they work very well for home crafting. I don't know if I would sell them with that. I think I would get some birch if I was to sell these signs. I've spray painted them with the orange or the rustic orange, and I don't think I would use the painter's tape again, and I forgot about that. It's very sticky. And then in the together, because I did two, I broke it between the T and the H, but I was able to glue them back together. And then to fasten these letters or attach the letters or the words, I'm going to take my Gorilla Glue and just put it on this plate next to me. And I put a blob out, and you can put a little bit. If you put a lot, sometimes it will dry up a little bit. I have a skewer, and I'm going to take a little bit dots of glue and put it on the back of my word. And the skewer works out great because it just gets the right amount of glue there. I mean, that's just tiny enough to where you can get all those little beads on. And then we've got that all set. Everything's got glue on it, and then I'm pushing it into place. I'm just going to take a look at it and see what I think, get it centered. It's a little bit lower than I thought, so I'm moving it over a little bit, but it will be fine. You shouldn't notice it too much that it's that close. And then here we have our raffia. I'm just placing it on there for now, raffia and our acorn, and just to show you what it looks like. And here we have it. This is just absolutely what I wanted it to look like, and I'm so excited with how everything came out. It's just perfect, and it's going to make the back patio look so pretty. It gives us everything that we need. We've got fall, and then we go right into Thanksgiving, and it's just amazing. Just loving it. Now we have some beautiful signs that we can put out on our patio and enjoy year after year. If you make some fall harvest outdoor signs, share the inspiration and tag us on Instagram at Tranquil_Mentor, or visit us on Facebook at Tranquil Mentor. If you are already one of our subscribers, welcome back and thanks for watching our video today. And if you're not a subscriber, welcome to our channel. And if you would be so kind to subscribe and like our video, it helps YouTube notice us a little bit more, and it supports our channel and helps us to grow. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.